heart, and you're never going to learn from anything, from guilt. I'm not here to have a conversation about spirituality and the fact that you're supposed to be guilty and feel worried and all that stuff. I'm not here for that. I'm telling you, it is a learned behavioral trait. Most of us have grown up in a household that our parents use guilt and worry as part of control. You should, and we've been connected to and imprinted that if you feel guilty and worried, you care. So on your notes, we've been taught caring equals guilt and worry. Well, I should feel guilty. I care about it. Completely they're not related. So if you have those feelings, whatever you wrote down about what's occurred already, what I'd have you do is take a look at it and ask yourself, what's my lesson? Based on what's my lesson, then you've got to learn how to let it go. If you don't let it go, it just eats apart at you. But on the flip side is the stuff you wrote down for the future, the things that you're worried about, the things that you have anxiety about, things that you're afraid of. The only thing that fixes that is action. There's a slight edge between fear and worry and motivation. And the difference between fear and motivation is action. See, when we think about the future and we get worried, we actually get almost to the point where worry is a psychological immobilization statement. It's a defense mechanism. It's a way that we can hide without feeling bad. And worry's crazy. If you're afraid of doing an activity and you don't do it, what actually occurs? What we were afraid of. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's nuts. It's crazy. So on your piece of paper, I'd have you write this down, 2 simple things. If you feel bad, learn from it and let it go. If you feel anxious, create an action plan and then do it. If you feel bad, what's your lesson, and then let it go. If you have anxiety, what do I have to do, and then do it. You know, I'll talk about guilt and worry all the time, talks, speeches, etc., etc. Everyone walks up, and that's not me, that's not me. You know, most of us have a tough time sleeping at night. You roll over in bed and you're wide awake. You wake up early. And the number one thing that I hear when we're coaching is my mind goes a mile a minute. I'm constantly thinking. If you're constantly thinking, you're not in your present moment. You're thinking this way. Or you're actually thinking up, which is frustration. That happens with your people. That happens with your accounts. Where you get frustrated at something that they did, then you get angry, then you get really irritated. And a lot of these, by the way, get connected very quickly. You know, any of you watch Ted, the little, not the movie Ted, little 10-minute sometimes, right? So there was a gentleman I was listening to on it who was speaking in front of a group of people, and he wanted to be different, so we had a goat next to him. I'm not sure how that made it different, but very interesting. He said, I have no proof to this, I'm just telling you what he said, and all the research that they did, the average achiever, not low person. I mean, listen, do you guys realize that 80% of the population have no goals, right? Do you realize that 80% of the people walking planet Earth have 0 goals? They get up, they go to work, they come home, they eat, they watch TV, and they go to sleep. And then Groundhog Day starts the next day. Only 14% of the people walking planet Earth actually have an idea of what they want. Just a kind of a 4% of human population walking around actually have a vision of what they want. Less than 4%. 1% have goals, have a plan, and they look at it. Less than 1%. And do you realize that people who have goals, that track them, follow them, and stay on track with them, earn 9 times more than those that don't? It's pretty staggering numbers. So in this conversation he had on TED, one of the things that he said was, the average high achiever has 2 memorable days a month. 2 memorable days a month. And what his point was is that we do not live in the present moment ever. We go to the work the same way. We talk on the phone the whole time we're driving. How many of us, when we come home, we're thinking about work, yet we're home with the kids? How many of us are walking around, maybe coaching, doing some stuff after work, and all we're doing is thinking about stuff that's happening at work? We absolutely deteriorate ourselves on who we can become because we're never actually in the moment where we are. And it's not an easy thing to do. It takes a long time to do. So if you find yourself ever having these feelings outside your I am, realize you're off the reservation. It's okay to feel it, just don't get it stuck. Again, guilt's not a good thing. It is, listen, I'll say the same things to my 17-year-old daughter, God bless her, she's amazingly beautiful, she's a beautiful girl, and at 17 she looks like she's 29. It's not good. It's the only reason I try to stay in shape because I know I'm going to chase somebody someday, right? So, oh, I know it, man. And was it Jeff Foxworthy? I don't know if you ever heard this one. I think he said it. And I did it to her prom date the other day, and I thought it was funny, but you guys can tell me. I still think this is hilarious. So anyways, he comes, starting to talk to him. His name is Bill. He's a great kid. Having a little dialogue. I walk him outside. I start walking down the driveway and having a little chat about, my pride and joys, my daughter. And I said, by the way, Bill, I just want to let you know something. He goes, what's that, sir? And I said, well, first of all, don't suck up to me by using the word sir, but I don't mind going back to prison. Tapped him on the back. I said, have a hell of a good time, son. Right? My daughter, 20 minutes later, did you tell him you went to prison? Right? I said, yes, I did. Yeah. Had a little tattoo. I put in with a Sharpie on my hand right there. I said, see? Hey, if they've been I got my tattoo, I'm good, man. I'll go back, no problem. So, thank you for laughing. I thought it was funny, too. Apparently, when you're 17, it's not...